Today, the moon continues in Pisces. The mood of the day is in that sign of spirituality, of heart, of love, of unconditional love. So, remembering to love yourself unconditionally. Notice where you might place conditions on your own deserving or worthiness and question that. It's a great time for questioning things now that Uranus is in Gemini. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Tuesday, July 15th. Now we've had several changes already with the outer planets. We've got Uranus now in Gemini, and now that Uranus is in Gemini, it's activating even more the double sextile between Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, which I have talked about in previous videos. So if you missed those, there is a link in this video or in the description for this video to my handy reference guide for the planets and planetary alignments of the outer planets in 2025. All the video links are in that article. So just go there if you need a refresher on what is going on with the outer planets, because so much is changing, so much is aligning in ways that put pressure on us, but also in ways that open up possibilities, that plant seeds of the future. There is a lot of creative energy, and if we are sitting around worrying about what's going to happen to the world, we will be wasting that creative energy. So reconnect yourself with your purpose. Ask yourself what you need to do that is in alignment with your own spiritual truth, right? Connecting with that bigger picture of meaning for yourself. And that's what I've been talking about with the outer planets, especially Saturn and Neptune in their almost conjunction. So we're already in their tightest approach for 2025, Saturn and Neptune coming together. So if you missed Sunday's video on the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, definitely watch that. All of this, I know it's a lot, but it is important to understand these energies, because if we think about the times we're in and what is happening in the world around us from the context of the past, of what we know, of how we understand things, because we've always understood them that to work that way in the past, things are going to work differently. There is going to be a whole new way of orienting ourselves. There already is. And so these planetary alignments that I talk about in these videos and in that handy reference guide for planetary alignments in 2025, again, the link is in the description for this video. So important for us to understand those energies and how to make the most of them, how to work with them. Because again, if we're not aware and conscious of what is shifting and changing, we might feel overwhelmed, inundated. We might feel powerless, and we are not. We are not powerless. Quite the contrary. There is so much opportunity here for moving things in new directions, for creating new systems, structures, and forms, for building community, for even understanding what community is. With Pluto in Aquarius, our very understanding of community and what it means to be there for each other in humanitarian ways is changing. So, yes, we have to grieve some of the things that are being lost, but also we need to think about the future, because if you give up, if you say, oh, there's not going to be a future, why even bother, then that's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? But if you say, here's the future I imagine, I envision, here's what I would like to see happen, and I can think of a friend or two who probably me. Let's get together and talk about it and figure out what we can do and how we can support each other and how we can cheer each other on in bringing our own skills, abilities, experience, talents, wisdom to the moment. Okay, I got off on that, but it's really important. So, bring yourself up to speed if you aren't already on what is happening with these outer planets in 2025, because it is a big deal and it's not just this year, although this year is a big year of change. It is years to come as well, where we will be getting to know these new energies and learning how to work with them. So now that Uranus is in Gemini, we're going to be learning more about learning. There's going to be the energy of breakthrough and insight and innovation, but we need to think at higher levels of consciousness. We need to think outside the box because that is where the answers will be. And we have access to those answers if we see ourselves as outside the box thinkers. So think of yourself and your where you can learn about something you don't really understand. And uh, a little teaser. What is the word? Cheat, a hot tip. Hot tip. That's the word I'm looking for. Is it's not online, right? It's not on your social media feeds. Maybe if you're lucky, you have some good connections and somebody will post something interesting, and you might find that through some good, if you have some good networks in place, that could be a good way. But in general, social media is not the answer. The answer is going to be in educating yourself at deeper levels. So go read those longer articles. Check some books out of the library. Go seek out information about what you're interested in. You don't have to learn about everything. That's the beauty. We have all of us. So follow your insight, your curiosity, and there will be breakthroughs there for you. There will be things for you to learn. So, all right, and then Saturn, Neptune coming close to their conjunction. Again, I had that video on Sunday about that. So that energy of connecting with a bigger picture and bringing those spiritual principles, those bigger picture ideals, freedom, democracy, justice, equality, whatever it is that is sort of a bigger picture principle. How do we bring that into a new system, a new way of operating? With Saturn, new structures, new foundations, building from the ground up. And that is one of the gifts of having things kind of destroyed or demolished. I mean, I mean, not that we would choose that, right? But sometimes we have to look for the silver linings in what happens. So look for what you can contribute to, how you can be part of solutions, and how you can bring your own creative thinking, your own skills, wisdom, and experience to offer as a contribution to the greater good and to your own self-care, right? When you're doing what is meaningful to you, it cares for you at deeper levels. So take care of your heart. Take the time you need for coming back to center and remembering who you are. So important. And with today's Pisces moon, it's that very spiritual connection. Later in the day, I think it is about 9:32 p.m. Pacific, the moon goes into Aries, right? Fiery, action-oriented Aries. So we shift from that watery flow, that intuition-based connection with all that is, to the Aries action, initiation, birth, beginnings, courage, etc. And so with that, we also have that Saturn Neptune almost conjunction activated by the moon. So that is later tonight. And just just reinforces how important it is to connect with the bigger picture of what matters to us, what brings meaning to our lives, and what we care about, and how we can embody that and be part of helping to materialize that in new and better ways than even we had in the past. All right, thanks for being here, and watch for my video coming out on what is evolutionary astrology, because I'm going to have a series on evolutionary astrology and the lunar nodes and how to find them for yourself and what they mean and why they're important, and so many good tidbits. So stay tuned for that. Sign up for my member program to get notified when that is available. There is a free member level, so it's easy, and just put in your email. The link is in the description for this video. So thanks for being here, and I will see you next time with more astrology for unshakable self-care. Thanks for subscribing. Bye for now.